everybody. Welcome to episode 14 of the Nonsense Zone podcast. 14. That's 7 times 2.
Whew.
Or 13 plus 1. Plus 2.
You're a mathematic genius. You're a genius, Andy.
You know it. You know it. This guy right here, Lenny Bruce, my co-host. Welcome, Lenny.
Hello, Andy.
Hello, Lenny.
Hello.
Yeah.
Them guys.
I'm Andy Biggs. Yes. And and this is our show. I'd like to start off by we have a sponsor that will be joining us throughout the episode. It's a law firm. So never a bad thing to have a law firm advertising on your side. So here we go. Did you spend most of a podcast episode talking about the death of a Hall of Fame NFL player, a movie star, and a guy who also brutally murdered his ex-wife and a friend, who also hosted Monday Night Football and is an avid golfer? If you had more of an actual following, you might get sued. Even though you only have 3 followers and one of them didn't watch or listen because they needed a break from you, you should think about retaining legal representation. That's where Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe have your back. Orenthal James Simpson may have had a dream team of attorneys, but they're all dead. And now so is the Juice himself. So we feel like we might be able to handle this. So why wait? Take the first step towards legal serenity and call Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe today. There we go, Len. That's our sponsor.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's a good point. We could get sued, you know.
The Juice. You know, you're funking around with the OJ. Orange juice.
Orenthal James.
Orenthal. That's the first thing that triggered him into being a murderer.
Oh yeah, yes, the name Orenthal.
I bet Nicole was on the phone with him like, look, I got somebody bringing my sunglasses over. Orenthal, I don't have time for this.
Yes.
Orenthal!
I hate that name. Didn't you have a theory about what was actually happening? He was having a little trouble trimming his toenails.
Yeah, they said he always had out of control toenails. Not many people knew that about the Juice. And he had a hell of a time because he was born with 2 extra ribs. Not too many people knew that. And he had a horrible time bending over to trim his toenails. He used to, as a young man, have somebody trim his toenails for him. And apparently, some theory has it that he slipped while trying to trim one of his toenails in an angry situation.
And that's how he killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman.
It was actually a slip up. Ron Goldman tried to step in to get in between the toenail clippers and Nicole,
and almost took his head off.
Nearly decapitated him. Yeah.
Wow. And that kind of explains why the dude that was driving the white Bronco was driving so slow, because Orenthal James was in the passenger seat trying to do his toenails, and he knew about how OJ was with the toenail clippings.
I mean, it was recent. It just happened.
I'm not making any sudden movements. I saw what you did to that guy with the sunglasses. You know,
he was returning sunglasses. Talk about being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I mean, who leaves their sunglasses at a restaurant? Well, you're talking to a guy that left his keys at a restaurant.
That's a tough nut to swallow. But you didn't get damn near decapitated.
That's true. I mean,
imagine if you walked into Pizza Hut and the chef was so irate from the dine and dash that he diced you up right there in the lobby.
Or if there was just happened to be a former NFL player and star of The Naked Gun sitting in the lobby trying to trim his toenails.
Fella, the name's Orenthal. Could you give me a hand?
Hey, you are Nordberg. I'm going to help you out.
Slice this son of a bitch up. You know what? Andy?
Yes.
Fuck Orenthal.
Fuck Orenthal. He's a murderer.
He's a murderer. Fuck him.
Actually, there was a kind of a. I don't give much stock or put much stock in it, but there is a rumor out there that the whole thing was a cover up, that it was his son, who was Nicole Brown Simpson's son also, that killed them both, and that OJ was taking the rap for them. But I don't buy it.
The glove fit. The glove fit. Remember, he showed everybody that the glove fit.
It didn't fit. That's what he was saying. But he didn't even try to pull it down, though. He just kind of like stuck his fingers in and was like, "Oh, it doesn't fit."
No glove, no love, Orenthal. No glove, no love.
It's like the Seinfeld episode where the guy that was supposed to be like Johnny Cochran, where like the caddy says, "Tell her to try on the bra." No, I don't think you should do that.
Johnny Cochran.
It doesn't fit.
That Johnny, I tell you. He was named after a toilet. Johnny. This is over.
All right. Good night, everybody. So actually, this we're in this for the money. I mean, this isn't fun for us. We don't like people. We have another sponsor, and that's what this is all about. We're gonna sponsor the hell out of this episode because it's just a money grab for us. So Len actually was able to solidify a sponsor for us. So
yeah,
you want to go ahead?
Yep. First thing this morning, I checked my email and I was like, they wanted a response right away, and I said, absolutely, we could do that. It's actually an all new unisex body wash called Fug, F-U-G-G. And they say Fug is an all natural body wash designed for both men and women. Fug is safe for both your box and your balloon knot, so use it a lot. Whether it's a quick fugging in the morning or a long dragged out fug in the evening, you'll be sure to feel refreshed and invigorated. So do yourself a favor and go fug yourself, or perhaps give someone you love a good fugging. Fug. Feel the difference. This sounds invigorating, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I could go for a good fugging.
I'm going to go fuck myself. Actually.
If your wife was home, she could fug you. Do it for you.
Yeah, but she wouldn't.
No.
She could, yes, conceivably, theoretically. She wouldn't.
No. She'd tell you to go fug yourself.
Yes. Yeah, that's I like that. I think I'm. You convinced me.
It's unisex, and it's good for your box and your balloon knot.
I like that.
So hey.
Yeah, I think we're a fug family now.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
The good Lord has sent Fug to us. Mm-hmm. We should embrace it.
Yes.
So that's two sponsors right off the bat.
Right off the bat, yeah. So yeah, it's cha-ching. Yeah. So we also have we're going in a different route today. We had a good episode last week. Figured let's build up and give ourselves some time to get some good material going. So in these break periods like this where we're trying to do that, let's do some Q&A, answer some questions.
Yeah, those would be fun.
So I reached out to on our social media platforms. I made the promise that anything that got sent to us, we'll get right on the show. One question. Oh my goodness, Len. One question I am pretty sure is going to get us in trouble, but I did promise. So we're going to read it. So let me just find my notes here.
Be prepared, you idiot.
I know. Sorry about
that. There's people watching.
No, there's not, though. That's no. So part of the Q&A, our first question comes from Threads. The gentleman goes by the handle Stephen Does Stuff. He is the co-host of Midday Musing podcast with his wife, actually. And I've listened to a few episodes, and it's actually a very good episode or a very good podcast. So I recommend it. He asked two questions. The first one is, if you had 1 year left to live, what would you do? Len, what would you do?
I would most likely end up in jail.
Yeah.
Well, there's just so many things that pop into my head with that one. Wow.
Yeah, I'd go right down the bucket list, and I would say more than half of those items on the bucket list are illegal.
I would. A lot of people would love me and a lot of people would hate me.
So
I'm a
yeah,
pretty well-liked guy, but I would do a whole lot of crazy shit.
on a show like this, I think people expect the uplifting. I would spend time with my family and stuff like that. No.
I'd be a wild, crazy asshole.
I'd say I would shake my family's hands like on day one of that year. No, that's right. I would do the elbow bump. Everyone in my family.
The dominant hand. Ew, Andy.
I'll see you in a year, but I wouldn't because I'd only have a year.
You'd be dead. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would probably be an unruly. I'd be a fun-loving guy. I wouldn't harm anybody in any way, but
no, not to the last day or two.
I would go batshit crazy with just doing a whole lot of cool / funny effed up stuff.
No, the murder and stuff would come on the last day of the year.
Yeah, nobody'd get hurt. Maybe me, but yeah, it would be a wild and crazy ride right to the end.
And there would be murder on day 364.
Actually, if Angela Lansbury wasn't dead, I'd kill her.
She might be. She might. I mean, she might. Is she dead?
It was a cover-up. I think she's dead.
Yeah.
Remember that stupid ass show? It was an hour long, and everybody, they had FBI agents, everybody in the world. And then 5 minutes before that stupid show ended, she gave something just doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, here we go. The lady who knitted a carpet, idiot. She wanted to.
I stopped watching, and we won't go on a TV tangent or anything, but I stopped watching network TV because they all followed that formula. And it's, and then you had shows on HBO and Showtime that didn't, and they were just like really long movies. So those are so much better. But every House was another one. I watched House. Oh. Dr. House was stumped for 50 minutes of every episode and it was like he's going to die. And then at 8:55, he'd always be like, oh, this is what happened. Airwolf.
I got him.
The only reason I watched the show was because the theme music was awesome. I remember thinking, oh yeah, that's an awesome show. Actually, it wasn't, because you spent all but the last 5 minutes waiting to see the goddamn helicopter, and there it is.
And then it ended. You got like a few minutes of the helicopter doing cool stuff. Remember Knight Rider? We won't go on a tangent, like I said, but Knight Rider, remember the episode where Michael Knight was making love to Kit's tailpipe?
Yeah.
At the grocery store, and he got arrested.
We had to wait till the last 5 minutes to see that.
Yeah. And he kept saying, Michael, and that little red thing was going back and forth in the grill.
Yeah.
Kit took his medicine. He did. But anyways, back to what you were saying.
Give it to me harder, Michael.
Harder, Michael.
And they tried to bring it back. They replaced the Trans Am with a Mustang.
How stupid.
Yeah.
No.
So Steven does stuff. Also gave us another one. He said, if you ran a country, how would you do it?
How would you do it, Andy?
I would go. It'd have to be a small island or something. I have no interest in. You take a big country like this one, nobody's ever going to be happy with what you do. It's always going to be. So give me a small island. It would just be a big party. Yeah. Try to take care of my very small flock that's on my island. People. What's fun was I remember trying to joke around with some coworkers on lunch break once in one of my more recent jobs, and I said, I'd kind of like to be a cult leader and start my own cult, and they would not even play along, which was irritating to me. They're like, "Oh no, I wouldn't do that." Like, I'm clearly joking. I don't really want, but my island would be a cult.
How about clothing? Clothing optional or?
Depends on what the flock looks like. I'm a very. You
could use Fug. You could use Fug, and you could all Fug yourselves.
Fug would be the official body wash of my island.
You could put it on your balloon knot.
Mm-hmm. not materialistic, although I would be materialistic too, but was shallow. I'm a very shallow person. So, I mean, yeah.
It's understandable.
What about yourself, Len?
I'd be an eye for an eye guy. I always said that. I think any country would be run like that, would be a lot safer and a more happy place. If you steal something, they chop your fucking hand off. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
They do that in Saudi Arabia, I think.
Yep. A lot of people would think twice before they wandered onto your property and stole your lawnmower.
So, wait a minute. So you want to live in Saudi Arabia is what you're saying?
Maybe. Do they have hot dogs there?
I think so. Yeah.
Now, and I always said, run your country like a Carnival cruise.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. You caught me off guard when you said,
"Yeah, Carnival cruise."
You start talking about cutting people's hands off and stuff.
No, eat, drink, be merry, and if you break the rules, you get the fuck out.
Yeah,
you get out. That's the deal. That's it.
Yes, I think the crowd likes that too.
I'll see you at the debate. The debate. Put the needle on the record, Andy. Put the needle on the record.
I accidentally I lost that forever.
Oh,
that's all right. Nobody liked that laugh.
Did they have hot dogs in Saudi Arabia?
No, actually, aren't they? I always get this wrong. I think there are foods that they're not allowed to eat for religious reasons.
I'm not a huge hot dog guy. I just figured, if all else fails, you go for a hot dog.
So we are one of the only ways that we're lucky to live where we live in upstate New York. We have two things that I've learned recently that they don't have in the rest of the country, let alone the rest of the world. Glacier hot dogs and salt potatoes.
Salt potatoes.
Potatoes are a northern New York thing, just like glacier hot dogs.
No shit. Yeah, I knew the glacier hot dogs were kind of a rarity.
They're these red. They have garlic in them. They snap. They're people,
And I'll say this too: now, Canada is known for their cheese curd. They're supposed to be
they're poutine and
but I prefer ours because they come in the long pieces. Where all the Canadian stuff I've had from some of our camping friends from years ago was all mincy and it was good on poutine because it was small and it melted away easier. But no, you gotta. We
have better cheese curd.
Big squeaky pieces. Size matters. Say it.
Size matters.
Yes. Rohan. Okay.
So those are. Thank you very much. Hold on. Thank you very much, Stephen. Go find the Midday Musings podcast. Actually, it's much better than this one. So, actually, what you should do is shut this podcast off right now. Go listen to his because it would be better.
And then come right back.
Oh yes, absolutely, come right back. Good thing they're shorter episodes because he and his wife do this midday on their lunch break. I believe is what the story is. No, that's not what they do. That's okay. But yeah, no, good show though. Definitely check it out. We have another question from also from a Threads listener, Introspective AF, Introspective _AF. She is also a co-host of several podcasts. Her name is Steph. I see her podcast, the Stay Introverted podcast, Hey Bestie podcast, and Human AF podcast. I think AF stands for Always Flatulent.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
that's got to be.
Yeah.
So is she always flatulent, or do people?
I think that's what the AF stands for. Yes, I think she must. Always, especially since it's in her username and in her.
God bless her. God bless her. Yes.
She strikes me as a good sport. So thanks for being a good sport on this bad joke. Anyways, her question. I realize I cannot properly pronounce my 5-month-old puppy, spelled Gnocchi. I actually had to reach out to her and ask her, can you sound that out for me? It's Gnocchi. So said, I realize I cannot properly pronounce my 5-month-old puppy's Gnocchi's name. Do I change his name? Is it too late? or do I keep it because the name is perfect and just continue to laugh at myself because it's so typical of me? She pronounces it Noki, and it's actually Gnoki.
Gnoki.
What are your thoughts on this, Len?
I'm a humor guy. I think if you find the humor in it and it makes you laugh and smile, then that's what the whole world is to me. If you can laugh and smile under any circumstance, take advantage of it. I would stick with the name, and mispronounce it. Anytime you mispronounce it, it's well worth it.
It's an inside joke between you and the dog and anybody else that knows.
Yeah, especially if you're mad at it. Like, oh, Gnochi.
I'm going to go the opposite route. I believe that all dogs should have simple names. I always lose these arguments, though. I think Frank is a good name for a dog.
Frank.
Orenthal's a good name. No, I wanted to name a dog Harry because they mostly are hairy.
Mm-hmm. And they lick their balls.
Mm-hmm, that's true. Ballsy.
Ballsy.
A good name.
I
like Rover. I always picture Elmer Fudd yelling, "Wova!"
Yeah, but nobody ever saw what Rover did to Elmer Fudd.
Oh, it's best to let him finish.
Yep, Rover took over. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wascowee Wabbit.
No, I think Noki or Noki is it's a fine name. I say name it Frank.
Name it whatever.
Even if it's a girl. I didn't even think to ask that.
Oh yeah. And keep peanut butter in the house. Dogs love peanut butter. But here's a special tip from me.
Ooh, special tip from me.
Use creamy peanut butter, because if you use crunchy, the dog's gonna nibble. And you're gonna put it places where you don't want the dog to nibble. Why am I the only one on the screen?
Because I wanted to give you the full stage.
Oh, okay. I was
sorry. I should have given you a heads up there.
I thought we had a little technical difficulty. Use creamy peanut butter, you idiots. You don't want the dog nibbling.
I also want to point out that, again, this is mostly a visual YouTube-based show. So, I'm sorry, our Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music miss out on some of the jokes. I just took myself off the screen and surprised Len with a full screen.
Oh, what a surprise. It was almost like that time I found a gerbil and I found him, and that was a surprise.
Yeah, always a surprise when you unsuspectingly find a gerbil.
A gerbil? I think his name's Orenthal.
Orenthal the gerbil?
Yeah, it's a gerbil, you idiot. You said turtle.
I said gerbil.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm jumping the gun, Andy. I'm being a little hard on you. I'm sorry. Hard on you. Go hug yourself.
So thank you to Steph, who is also known as Introspective AF. That's right. She always flatulent, I guess, is what the AF stands for.
Mm-hmm.
No, AF obviously doesn't stand for that. But anyways, thank you for participating, and thank you for listening. That's awesome. So now we have another question, and this is the one that could get us in trouble.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I guess, and I'm gonna fumble this terribly, and I apologize in advance. So I'm gonna say this may cross some lines, and we would never, neither one of us would never intentionally try to hurt anybody's feelings, and there is absolutely no malicious intent involved in this question. That said, we are going to well, you'll see, but
say
all right, the question from we'll just call him Sneb, and he was from our high school, and he wrote in a question, and he wanted to know, was Mr. Bray really gay? So before we go any further, I'm going to say this is from the mid-90s. We were dumb teenagers. And we talked to we referenced this with our panel of gay friends, and they said, we asked, went through the whole scenario. We said, is this offensive? And they said, no, it's stupid. And we said, perfect. So, so we did research this before.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we used to do this because, well, not we, our friend Sneb. Every time somebody asked a question in class of our teacher, Mr. Bray, they'd say, Mr. Bray, and they'd put their hand up, and in the background you would hear our friend, and I'm going to butcher the voice, but our friend in this kind of funny voice he did go, are you gay? So it was just like and it was one of those things where it started out like, all right, that's kind of funny. And then it went on for a while. Like, all right, that's old. It's getting old. You got to stop that. And then he kept doing it. And it's like, all right. So then it went past the part of being old and now it's hilarious. So, and it was just went on for like 3 years probably of every time somebody read, Mr. Bray, are you good?
Never got an answer from him.
Every time. He didn't even have to finish it anymore. It was, he'd say, Mr. Bray, or somebody say, Mr. Bray, or you, and you'd always stop him like, yeah. So,
that big aardvark.
It was all, none of it was malicious. Like I said, nothing negative about gay people, but it just, their names rhymed. And that's what kids did.
That was fun.
So to answer your question, yes, he's emphatically gay. We had some fun with this teacher. I will say, he was a
good sense of humor, big fat aardvark. He love you.
He called me a worm for a long time for trying to start trouble, basically with him. And he'd always say, "You're a worm." And so the one day I said, "If I'm a worm, you're an aardvark," and that just kind of stuck. And then we were like calling him aardvark for a long time.
He was fat.
But I will say he was a legendarily good wrestler, and then he went on to coach wrestling, and he was even better. He was even better as a wrestling coach. So we had fun with this, and yes. Good night, everybody. Wait. So yes, so we had some fun with that. For instance, there was a time that a student teacher came in, and he was a very shy, very awkward young man. And I remember we were all sitting around having a conversation with him. We were like, "Hey, do you play any sports? You know, where are you good at?" And he said, "I was a wrestler in high school, but I wasn't very good." And we leaped on that. We're like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Bray wrestled. He said he could kick your ass, without hesitation." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sure he could. I wasn't very good." And then we went back. "Oh, did you hear Mr. I don't even remember his name. We'll call him Mr. Smith. Did you hear Mr. Smith, the new student teacher down the hall? He said he could whip your ass if you guys."
Staunted that man.
And Mr. Bray was like, "Did he realize my history as a wrestler?"
And he was taking it serious.
Yeah, and we're like, "Oh, he did." He said he didn't care. He said that he was going to whoop your ass. And then it just turned into a rivalry where like we went back to the student teacher. We're like, "Hey, Mr. Bray said that he was going to whoop your ass." And he's like, "Oh, no, I don't want any trouble with him. I wasn't very good." We're like, went back to Mr. Bray again. And this went on for months. We even got the guy doing the morning announcements to be like, "Mr. Smith, please report to Mr. Bray's office at the end of the." So.
He's fine.
Yeah. So we had fun with that. But then, well, no, actually, there was another story. Remember, he ducked into the private bathroom in the nurse's office?
Oh, yeah. The teachers like to use the private poupée because it was a one-staller lockable door. They didn't have to poop in the presence of nosy, weird, fun-loving students that would probably look in on him.
So we saw him head into there. I think he even had a newspaper tucked under his arm.
He was ready. He was ready for battle.
We saw him walk in. It was myself, Len, I think 2 other friends.
Sneb
was one of them. If we were walking by, you go in and start pounding on the bathroom door. Boom, 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 boom. The nurse, it was outside the nurse's office. The nurse comes out. "What are you guys doing?" Sneb, without hesitation. "Oh, we got a question for Mr. Bray." He's like, wait till he's done.
Boom, 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 boom. You're done. Get out of there, you aardvark.
But the best story regarding the aforementioned Mr. Bray was the wrestling match.
Oh, the wrestling
I missed it. Len, you were there, weren't you?
I witnessed it. I think I was the only witness.
So
there might have been one other fellow, but I'm pretty sure I was the only one that witnessed it.
So our friend Sneb is a big, strong guy. And, we like to talk shit to this teacher who was an expert level wrestler back in his day. Also a big, strong guy. So, yeah. And then another friend jumped in. The odd part is that those two weren't really ever all that tight friends, but still, he saw one of his friends. He jumped in. Len, can you do the story any justice here?
Well, I'll make it quick. We were in the weight room. and the aardvark was in there doing his thing with his sweatpants on and the sweat going down his back into his butt crack, you betcha. And Sneble come in. Well, the three of us. It was me, Sneble, and so we'll say RB. We'll abbreviate his name, even though the filthy fucker knows who he is. Anyways.
He knows.
So the three of us walk in for whatever reason, and I'm pretty sure we were picking on Mr. Bray. And then the wrestling idea came up because you guys were always taunting him about wrestling, the challenge. Well, Mr. Bray accepted the challenge. I think he got sick of being called a big stinky No, we were always friendly with him. But anyways, so Sneble runs in for the kill. Well, doesn't Mr. Bray grab a hold of Sneble? And he stuffs Sneble under his big belly and lays on top of him. Now, this was a big guy. He was like 6'4", 400 pounds. Like, he was a big dude. Stuffed Sneble. Now, Sneble wasn't a small cat. He was a couple hundred cat. He was a big guy.
Strong guy.
Stuffed Sneble under there. He tucked him right under and began to laugh at Sneble because Sneble was starved for air. And there was cries for help. Now, I knew. Me and Sneb are probably around the same size. I'm thinking, I'm not going in there, and I never challenged Aardvark. I always sat back and watched people challenge. So I was like, I'm not going. The guy knew every pressure point on your body. He did, yeah. He would crush you with 2 fingers. So I'm thinking, I'm out. So I was enjoying Sneble being suffocated. RB thought it'd be a good idea to run in and help his fellow mate.
RB, a guy about my size, much smaller, but very athletic, very, very well coordinated.
Oh, he ran in, and what did Mr. Bray do? While he had Sneble stuffed under his belly and groin area, he grabbed our young friend RB, and he joined Sneble. He also tucked. The 2 of them were stuck under the aardvark as the aardvark laughed hysterically. I don't even know what my reaction was. I witnessed it all. I could picture it like it was yesterday. I don't even know if I was amazed, astonished, or if I laughed. Probably a little bit of everything, but it seemed like it went on for quite a while until Sneble basically almost lost consciousness and RB was just yelling, I can't breathe. Aardvark was victorious that day.
So, side note on this story, I didn't see this because I was on the soccer team, and I was playing in the middle of a game, and somebody else must have witnessed it, and I don't remember who, though.
But I remember, yes.
But I remember somebody ran out to me. I was the goalie, and I'm standing in the net in the middle of a game. Luckily, like, the team was on the other side of the field, and somebody comes up to me and like telling me, like,
JJ. His initials were JJ. Very good at basketball.
Oh, okay. He comes out and he tells me, dude, you're not going to believe what you're missing right now. Sneb and RB are in there getting their asses kicked by Mr. Bray.
Oh, man.
You don't know how close I was to quitting soccer.
Yeah, run off the field.
Just take my uniform off, put it on the field. Coach, I quit because this was something that I wanted to see so badly and was so disappointed that I was missing it. This close to I quit.
You did a classic quit to change the subject because we kind of ran that one, but baseball, Sneble, the same guy. God love him. I wish I could give him a hug and a kiss right now. we were on the baseball bus, probably closer to the end of the baseball season, and there was a woman behind us. We were traveling varsity. It was girls and guys would ride the same bus because we played the same teams. And it was a away game, and the lady behind us had her daughter with her that was also on the team. And Sneble kept dropping his pants and pasting his hairy ass up against the back window of the bus until the woman had the bus pull over and threw a fit. Well, then we get back to school, and Sneble was kicked off the baseball team right there in front of all of us. And then Andrew turns around and gives a, you know what? I'm going to take one of them too. Well, he quits right there. It's like, yeah, fuck it, I quit too.
So there's two reasons here. For one, we all egged him on to do it, and that's what that's what I said. I was like, well, we all put him up to it, and then I also was fucking terrible at baseball, so I wasn't getting any playing time anyways, and I was like, you know what? We put him up to it. The right thing to do would be for me
join him.
Yeah.
You know what though?
If I was any good at it, I would have said, fuck you, Sneb.
Yeah.
No.
I never thought of it, but the buses are high. And that woman had views of Sneble that, woo!
Oh, we joked. I think it was, well, I'll call him Officer J, because he's a cop. He threw out he used to say that she wasn't upset about seeing his butt cheeks. It was when she saw the back of his balls that she drove around the bus and forced the bus to pull over. She did an aggressive, just sped around the bus, got in front of it, hammers on her brakes, and is pointing at the side of the road okay, wow. She gets on she climbed right on the bus. She gets on the bus. I just saw somebody's butt cheek pressed up against that window. Sneb stands up and he goes, did the back look like this? And she's like, I don't know what she said. It's
number 7.
That was me.
Oh, God love him.
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah, the coach did. He's when we got back to the school, he's like, called him by first name and said, you're off the team.
Yeah. She saw his balloon knot. Well, that thing that sure could use some fucking. Whoa.
Sure.
Remember? I wonder if she covered her daughter's eyes. Like, don't look at the balloon. Look away. Look away. Because it comes down to it. When it comes to swear words, you could say ass anywhere, and people are like, but when you include the whole, then it becomes a dirty, angry word.
Yeah, I really don't. So if it's a respect thing, younger people, obviously I don't want them to swear, but if a young person swears in front of me, I don't care, because who decided it was a swear word? Who decided that was a bad word?
But when you include the whole, because that's where all the dirty stuff happens. So you could say ass, what an ass. But you say ass, hole.
Now it's a bad word.
Yeah, that's fucking ortho again. Go home, fug your asshole. That's enough.
That's enough. Yeah.
So, any more questions there?
That's all I have for questions. Again, no malicious intent. Mr. Bray loved it. He thought it was hilarious all the time when we do it. In fact, yes, he was very, very flamingly gay. He made Freddie Mercury look butch. No kidding. I think he's married and has kids, and he definitely has kids. We knew one of his kids. And
we locked one out of the classroom about 5 minutes before the final bell rang at the last day of school.
Yeah.
He pounded on the window. Let me in. He spoke on a list. Remember, he's like, let me in.
So
and we were like, no.
His son decided it would be a good idea to substitute teach. And also on the last day of school, we wanted to, and we were older too. We were like sophomore, junior, or something like that.
Somewhere in that neck of the woods.
And we wanted to go out and play on the playground last day of school. We said, can we just climb out the window? We were on the ground floor. He's like, yeah, I don't care. So we opened the windows.
He joined us.
Climbed out the windows. And then we were all watching, and it was like, all right, time to go back in because it's almost 3:00, almost time for school to go. We all run back to the windows, slam the window shut, and latch the window shut before he could come in. Because that's how we treat a guy that did us a nice favor of letting us use the window. Len, what's our show saying?
Huh? Oh, well, we weren't always the role model citizens we are today.
And so, yeah, pounding on the window. Let me in. I'm going to write you guys up. We're like, it's the last day of school.
Yeah. We left him out there. We left him.
We never let him back in.
No, the bell rang. We were like,
he could still be standing out there for all I know.
He's probably still out there. He's all bearded out and ripped up clothes. He looks like Tom Hanks on Castaway. You know, Tom Hanks on Castaway, he named Wilson. Wilson was a ball. I get it, the whole thing, but you think he would have wanted a little female companionship.
Well, the ball said Wilson on it. It was a Wilson.
Yeah, that's what I get. But what did he do to Wilson? I mean, he was awful. He broke up when they got separated. He was like, Wilson.
Well, Wilson was fairly deflated by the end of the movie, I think.
Yeah, he had a rough haul.
It's like a hole about that. No.
Yes, he did. He pumped his lead in there, you betcha. It looks like Wilson needs a little pick-me-up. What if the ball made noises as he went in and out?
Yeah, there's the air made a cup.
Right, Wilson.
So back to making money, because that's what we're doing with this episode. We have another ad from Dewey Cheatham and How Attorneys at Law. Did you get bad advice or a silly answer to a Q&A portion of a dumb podcast? You could be entitled to a large cash settlement. Wait, what? Anyways, you deserve to be entertained, and some of these idiots hosting dumb podcasts are just not providing that entertainment. What? So Dewey Cheatham and Howe are here to save the day. So don't wait till it's too late. Call Dewey Cheatham and Howe and get your cash settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't think I like that one as much.
No,
no. Yeah, that could actually go badly for us.
Yeah. Imagine if Aardvark watches this.
Oh,
I mean, the man tried to go poop in private in front of 5 of the goofiest guys in the school at the time, and banging on the door. What phase was he in when the door? When he heard the knock, he could have been in mid pinch.
Was the turtle head just poking out, or had he already dropped the first missile? He might
have cut things short, being caught off guard like that. Like, who's that?
It's a big man. It's a big man too.
He needed his privacy.
Yeah,
he needed his privacy.
We had a question.
He wasn't going to get it.
Teachers are here. The teachers were there to answer our questions, to educate us. We weren't told that there were times that they weren't supposed to educate us.
No, and our drunk nurse yelled at us. She yelled at us.
So in the mid 90s, it was still okay to smoke in the school. And there was a non-smoking teacher's lounge and a teacher's lounge. And if you walked by, and they were attached, actually, they were like a horseshoe-shaped room. So it was actually just one room. In half the room you could smoke, and but you could walk down the hallway and probably get secondhand smoke enough to give you emphysema. And the nurse was the worst one. Oh. The health official was in there just changing.
Oh yeah. I think there was a smokestack just for her coming out of the ceiling. That big.
And she'd leave somebody hanging like, I need a smoke.
You'll be okay. There.
Put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
Smoke time.
Sheepskin condoms. I told you, sheepskin condoms. Yeah. Real quick.
Yeah, no.
The nurse's office. We used to have to go in there. I'm always pointing lately, you betcha. We used to have to go in there and drop our pants at all ages for sports, to get and there's always a lady, but I remember when I was a kid, I went in there for like modified basketball, and the lady doing it, she's like, okay, drop your pants around your ankles, which is weird because you know what, they don't need to go around my ankles. You're just going to fondle my grapes and knock them around a little bit like a speed bag, and that'll be it.
Go down to the knee level is fine.
And it's a good thing I noticed. And I don't know how many kids were in there before me, but leave it to me to notice. The blinds were open.
The parking lot.
Open the parking lot.
When you drove into that school parking lot, if the blinds were open, you could see right into every room.
Oh yes, and I was like, no. I was like, and she turned red in the face, like, let me get them for you. I was
She
like,
was talking about shorts.
oh, oh God, oh yes. But I was like, leave the blinds open then. Leave them open. They were open. And that's the same time I went in there and saw a couple of Dixie cups with their names written on them, and I knew a couple of the names, and I used the spray Lysol cleaner and gave them a little.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, we had to do our urine tests into Dixie cups. We had to try to scribble our names on them. Yeah, and this guy.
I wasn't always the role model citizen I am today, Andy. I used bathroom cleaner and topped them off.
Imagine the.
This is Mr. Clean.
There are some strange chemicals in your son's.
Call the Department of Health on his parents. Must have drank a bottle of Lysol last night.
That escalated.
That's some funny stuff, Andy.
That is some funny stuff.
It is.
Hey, I have one last commercial from Dewey Cheatham and Howe. Okay. Were you sitting on an Alaska airline flight, minding your own business, only to have the door blow off the plane, ripping your shirt off and sucking it out into the sky, never to be seen again? Did you have to go through the remainder of the flight with your man boobs or moobs exposed? Did people stop screaming in terror to take a moment to point and laugh at your pasty white, tubby, shirtless physique? Did you have to walk through the airport shirtless after the flight landed, then wait for the luggage to come off the conveyor belt, and always seems to be the last bag to come off the conveyor belt, before you could rummage through your luggage until you are able to find a replacement shirt? Were multiple cell phones, a shoe, and parts of the plane later recovered, but not your favorite shirt, which after months of wearing and washing had finally become broken in just right? Actually, that's it.
He had it coming to him.
That's it. It seems like Dewey Cheatham and Howe asked a lot of targeted questions, and they didn't really offer to help at all.
Seems they're out of business.
Sounds like they're just being nosy, and
they wanted to know.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. They didn't offer to help or anything.
That guy's boobs were out. The boobs.
It's callback. Anybody that listened to our first episode, which was cringeworthy, we apologize for that, but it knows that I have been completely obsessed with the fact that this happened, which everybody knows this happened. But on the first time it was reported on the news, the reporter added, and one gentleman's shirt was ripped off and sucked out into the air. It was just comedy gold from there on.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh.
Also, I've been drinking from 2 different beers the whole night. Wondering if anybody noticed that. I switch up every other swig. It was a rough day.
Mm-hmm. He's got 2 different colored socks on. The man's a mess.
Total mess.
He's a mess.
Daughter let me sleep about 3 hours last night.
A mess.
Exhausted.
Mr. Bray was fat.
Mr. Bray. Turns out I answered Sneble's question. Mr. Bray was, in fact, very gay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn it. I was going to share a quick funny story. Oh, we'll wait till next time. It's already almost an hour long. So Sneble jogged a real funny story from school.
So tune in next week to hear another story involving Sneble.
It's a funny story too. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I hope the rest of your day goes well, Andy.
I hope yours does too. And I'd like to thank the people, most of all, thank the people that wrote in questions and participated in today's show. That makes the show so much better, and when people are participating. Also like to thank the 3 of you that tuned in and listened. That's awesome. I'd like to thank this man right here, Lenny Bruce.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Fat. PHAT. Go fuck yourself tonight, Andy. You deserve it.
I'd like to thank the fine people at Dewey Cheatham and Howe, and the people at Fug Body Wash for sponsoring the show.
I just can't
tell everybody to go fug yourself.
Yep. Go have a good fugging tonight.
Yeah. And other than that, I'd like to say if you liked this show, please feel free to write us a review and maybe give us some stars or whatever.
Say hello. Say hello. Just say hello.
Exactly. Tell us where you're from. Anything.
Say hello. Tell us to go fuck ourselves.
If you didn't like the show,
piss off.
Piss off.
Tell us to go piss off.
Tell us to go fug ourselves.
Please tell us to go fug ourselves.
Fug is a fine product.
It is.
And you should all fug yourselves.
Balloon nut.
Balloon. And other than that, I'd like to say to everybody to drive fast, stay to the left. Never play leapfrog with a unicorn. And remember to always keep on keeping on. Good night, everybody.